Lee Everett, as the player character in the Walking Dead game, is generally immune to the narrative irreversible death. The deaths we experience from his perspective during gameplay can still be intense. In those brief moments we may experience the shock of sudden death, followed by the despair of failing Lee's mission to protect his friends and especially Clementine. Perhaps in these instances we momentarily appreciate how suddenly death can occur, and how fortunate it is that this is just a video game. The shocking experience of Lee's death as a result of missing a quick time event is quickly alleviated upon realizing that one can restart from the closest save point. The other characters, however, do not possess the same immunity. There is a certain stress associated with knowing that a character in a game could be affected by the decisions one makes as a player. For example, when faced with the option to execute or spare Danny St. John in episode 2, I executed him, but felt immediate remorse when I saw Clementine's reaction. This was not the sort of thing I wanted her to witness, not only because of the violence, but because it was me she was reacting to with that shocked expression. In a flash, I found myself picturing the potential consequences, and in a few seconds wanted nothing more than to quit the game and restart from the last checkpoint to erase that decision. But what would that accomplish? I opted to keep moving forward. Lee encounters a motley crew of survivors throughout Season 1. I would like to focus on some of them and what my interactions with them taught me. Upon meeting Lily and her father Larry, I had sympathy for their anxious, tense, wary demeanor. What frustrated me about them was their stubbornness. Their perspective in the situation where the little boy Duck is bitten is that he should be cast out immediately, before a zombie bite has even been confirmed. They push their argument hard, appealing to the assembled group's fear and confusion. This hardline approach is characteristic of many of Lee's interactions with them. The challenge for me became overcoming the notion that their actions were selfish. It becomes clear that these two rely on each other for survival, not unlike Lee and Clementine's relationship. When deciding who should get food in episode 2, I insisted that they both eat, even though Lily refuses at first. I wanted very much to win over these two characters. Alas, nothing could make it so. I allow Lily to continue traveling with the group after she accidentally shoots and kills Doug, hoping that I can show her that I still recognize her value, when she steals the RV and disappears. She has my blessing to take it. I hope my choices mean she survives. Kenny is a character I can't help but love. Despite his rather narrow view of the world, the cultivation of his friendship with Lee was one of the most important parts of my playthrough. His motivations were never obscure. He wanted to take his family somewhere safe, and he bore his responsibilities as a father and husband well into the zombie apocalypse. Once I had earned his loyalty, I sensed I had a powerful companion. Kenny is a man of action, yet the consequences of investing into this friendship manifested on numerous occasions. When faced with an argument between Kenny and another party, my allegiance to him often clouded my judgment in the situation. Even if I'm inclined to agree with Kenny, I question whether I'm showing him favoritism, thereby doing a disservice to others, or whether I ought to stick with him despite my disagreement. Sometimes, these decisions stun me for so long that I remain silent, which often seemed fitting. These moments capture the complexity of human relationships and how they impact decision-making. Kenny, despite being a digital character, seems like a man I know. His struggles after the deaths of his wife and son resonated with me because I knew I couldn't abandon him. I had cast my lot with him, and now we were stuck together for better or for worse. The issue became how to handle his emotional distress. I discovered that patience and sympathy were my best tools. Ben. Nobody likes Ben. The remnant of a group of survivors holed up in a high school. Ben's passivity and immaturity contrast starkly with the plucky, 8-year-old survivor Clementine. Both, we understand, have been cast out of their roles as students and children. Ben, in his late teens, seems like he should be on the verge of adulthood and independence, yet has likely never truly experienced this reality for himself. Thus, he is more readily compared with more capable individuals like Lee and Kenny rather than Duck and Clementine, and is unable to live up to those expectations. When it is revealed that Lee is behind a series of supply disappearances that have caused the group to unravel, my immediate response was anger, but instead of vocalizing it, I remained silent. Ben's reaction to that silence was telling. He desired punishment, admitting that he deserved it. Leaving him to his remorse without another word was one of the most poignant moments in the game for me. The gameplay mechanic of having characters fall silent after conversations took on new levels of meaning. I sensed that Ben's internal struggle could lead him to suicide. In one moment, he is dangling above a building full of walkers, Lee holding him. Ben asks to be let go, and indeed, in that moment for Lee it would have been the easiest thing to do, yet I haul him up. Later, he expresses a great desire to keep living. I felt that somehow, by keeping him around, I had led him to an important realization.